Little Sunbird's little heart ached, an eerie, dreary, dreadful ache, for the sun that warmed her nest by day and the moon that sang her to sleep by night had turned away from each other. And so long as Father Sun and Mother Moon refused to face each other, there could be no moonlight. There would be no stars twinkling at night, no one to shine bright. Brother and Sister Sunbird blamed the moon for the dark. They were sunbirds after all. But Sunbird's dear friend, Moon Frog, was certain the sun was to blame, and Frog had always been right about everything before. Little Sunbird wasn't sure who to blame, though she was sure of one thing. I long for the moonlight, the twinkle of the stars at night, she cried. But brother and sister wouldn't listen. They couldn't listen, not when they were busy bickering with Frog. Mother Moon is most awful, Brother Sunbird cawed. No wonder Father Sun has turned away from her, Sister Sunbird squawked in agreement. Brother and sister had barely shut their beaks before Moon Frog snapped out her tongue. Father Sun is most terrible. No wonder Mother Moon has turned away from him, she croaked. Little Sunbird looked from brother and sister's dull feathers to Frog's dim eyes. The eerie, dreary, dreadful ache in her heart deepened. She had to do something. She would meet with Mother Moon and speak to Father Sun herself. So while brother and sister were busy not listening with Frog, little Sunbird took flight. She flew past the seas and past the trees, past the sky way up high. She reached Mother Moon first. Silver tears spilled down Moon's tired face, making her look anything but most awful. Mother Moon, Sunbird whispered, but Moon had not heard. Little Sunbird swallowed hard. She hadn't come all this way not to be heard. She puffed out her chest and mustered her loudest voice. I've come to ask if you will soon face Father Sun again, she shouted. Mother Moon shook her head slowly. But there must be something he could do to change your mind. Something I can do, maybe? Little Sunbird bowed her beak. It will never be enough. Now fly away, Sunbird, and leave me to my grief, Mother Moon moaned. Perhaps little Sunbird would have better luck with Father Sun. She took flight once more, flying past Moon, past the stars, past the meteors from Mars, past where breathing came easily, until she reached Sun. Golden tears streamed down his face, making him look anything but most terrible. Father Sun, little Sunbird panted, but Sun had not heard. Little Sunbird hadn't come all this way not to be heard. She sucked in the sparse air and mustered her loudest voice. I've come to ask if you will soon face Mother Moon again, she shouted. Father Sun shook his head slowly. But there must be something she can do to change your mind. Something I can do, maybe? Little Sunbird brought her wing to her heart. It will never be enough. Now fly away and leave me to my sorrow, Father Sun sighed. The eerie, dreary, dreadful ache in little Sunbird's heart deepened once more. She had come all this way and had not been heard. Her wings hurt, her lungs burned. She was all alone, not sure she had the strength to make it home. Mother Moon was too filled with grief to notice. Father Sun was too filled with sorrow to see little Sunbird fall toward the earth. But the stars did notice. The stars did see. And though it had been a long, long time since they'd gleamed, they couldn't let little Sunbird fall. They wouldn't let her fall. Billions of stars burned bright, reassuring little Sunbird she wasn't alone. They would give her the strength to make it home. Together their light carried her past Father Sun, past Mother Moon, past the trees, and past the seas, until she was home. Brother and sister stopped bickering with Frog long enough to notice the stars bring little Sunbird back, long enough to see them zip up into the sky and burst, setting the night ablaze. Long enough for little Sunbird to notice the shimmer in brother and sister's wings, the glimmer in Frog's eyes, and for the eerie, dreary, dreadful ache in her heart to soften. Little Sunbird raised her head and smiled at the sparkling sky. And for now, that was enough.